Well, I was going to take the night off. I've just been doing so much lately, and I might even say too much lately. And I've worked all day, and I'm tired, and so I'm just letting you know that I decided to take the night off. That's when you're supposed to say, night off, time off. Have you seen what's going on all around you in the world? The house is on fire. People, men, women, and children's lives are at stake, are being lost. Millions upon millions of lives are being lost. How many of those people, men, women, and children, have the opportunity to hear this good news of the rain? Not many. As you can see, my voice isn't getting out there too far. It should be rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat like that all day, every day, except for Shabbat. And even on Shabbat, because it's a good work, it's healing, it's salvation, it's the word of truth, it's life-saving. No, I can't be taking no time off. Yeah, I need to go hard in the paint, but you see how hard I'm going in my song, our song? And I have no plans on just barely easing up off the gas pedal. $160 swiftly, my cargo. We haven't read 2nd Esdras chapter 11. Let's get it. Let's see what it's talking about. I got some stuff I want to show you that you need to see, that you should want to see. More of the house special being served up just right, with a little of that slice and dice. I'll take extra on mine. On the second night I had a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle that had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. And I looked, and behold, he spread his wings over all the earth, and all the winds of heaven blew upon him, and the clouds were gathered about him. And I looked, and out of his wings there grew opposing wings, but they became little puny wings. But his heads were at rest. The middle head was larger than the other heads, but it also was at rest with them. And I looked, and behold, the eagle flew with his wings to reign over the earth and over those who dwell in it. And I saw how all things under heaven were subjected to him, and no one spoke against him, not even one creature that was on the earth. And I looked, and behold, the eagle rose up upon his talons, and uttered a cry to his wings, saying, Do not all watch at the same time. Let each sleep in his own place, and watch in his turn. But let the heads be reserved for the last. And I looked, and behold, the voice did not come from his heads, but from the midst of his body. And I counted his opposing wings, and behold, there were 8 of them. And I looked, and behold, on the right side 1 wing arose, and it reigned over all the earth. And while it was raining, it came to its end and disappeared. so that its place was not seen. The next wing arose and rained, and it continued to rain a long time. And while it was raining, its end came also, so that it disappeared like the first. And behold, a voice sounded, saying to it, Hear me, you who have ruled the earth all this time. I announce this to you before you disappear. After you, no one shall rule as long as you, or even half as long. Then the third wing raised itself up, and held the rule like the former ones, and it also disappeared. And so it went with all the wings. They wielded power one after another, and then were never seen again. And I looked, and behold, in due course the wings that followed also rose up on the right side in order to rule. There were some of them that ruled, yet disappeared suddenly, and others of them rose up, but did not hold the rule. And after this I looked, and behold, the 12 wings and the 2 little wings disappeared, and nothing remained on the eagle's body except the 3 heads that were at rest as 6 little wings. And I looked, and behold, 2 little wings separated from the 6, and remained under the head that was on the right side, but 4 remained in their place. Could this be saying 24? Could be. And I looked, and behold, these little wings planned to set themselves up and hold the rule. And I looked, and behold, one was set up, but suddenly disappeared. A second also, and this disappeared more quickly than the first. And I looked, and behold, the 2 that remained were planning between themselves to reign together. And while they were planning, behold, one of the heads that were at rest, the one which was in the middle, awoke, for it was greater than the other 2 heads. And I saw how it allied the 2 heads with itself. And behold, the head turned, and with those that were with it, and it devoured the 2 little wings, which were planning to reign. Moreover, this head gained control of the whole earth, and with much oppression dominated its inhabitants. And it had greater power over the world than all the wings that had gone before. And after this I looked, and behold, the middle head also suddenly disappeared, just as the wings had done. But the 2 heads remained, which also ruled over the earth and its inhabitants. And I looked, and behold, the head on the right side devoured the one on the left. Then I heard a voice saying to me, Look before you, and consider what you see. And I looked, and behold, a creature like a lion was aroused out of the forest, roaring. And I heard how he uttered a man's voice to the eagle, and spoke, saying, Listen, and I will speak to you. The Most High says to you, Are you not the one that remains of the 4 beasts which I had made to reign in my world, so that the end of my times might come to them? You, the 4th that has come, have conquered all the beasts that have gone before, and you have held sway over the world with much terror, and over all the earth with grievous oppression. Grievous. And for so long you have dwelt on the earth with deceit. Dwelt on the earth with deceit. Don't get it twisted, my friends. You are witnessing the slicing and the dicing. You're seeing those right moves. It says, dwelt on the earth with deceit for only one reason. That reason is that it was dwelling in deceit on the earth. It was dwelling deceitfully, with deception, deceiving people regarding its location. That's what that means. And you have judged the earth, but not with truth. The same goes for that sentence. You have judged the earth, but not with truth. How do you judge the earth? You say, this is Kansas. This ain't Kansas. We're over here. We're not in Kansas anymore. For you have afflicted the meek and injured the peaceable. How do you do that? How do you injure the meek and the peaceable? By judging the earth. You have hated those who tell the truth. All of them pretty much have died. Messiah came telling that. They killed him. Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, all these guys. They were killed. A lot of people were killed. And have loved liars. And I mean, hated those who tell the truth and loved liars. I mean, we see that, right? Every day, all day. They're all wearing Nikes. And I can spot them from eons away. You have destroyed the dwellings of those who brought forth fruit. There should no one should be getting that twisted. Everyone should understand completely what is being said right here. And I mean, you can argue with all words, all ways necessary. You can argue with that, but you're going to lose. It won't even be close. These words haven't been written down. They weren't put in here. And we already know they're true. Up to this point, it's been right on time. Time calculated and precise. All the right moves that are second to none. 1,000,000,000% accurate. So this is the truth. And this truth that's given, it's life-saving. It is life-changing. It causes all knees to bow. It is the sovereign of sovereigns, master of masters. The word, the truth, the way, and the life. It's here for lots of purposeful, right ruling reasons. It's not just for Phil. He's not just saying these things just to take up some more of the page. No. He's given you more than you could ever ask for. More proof, more reason for you to return. So you'll see. It's the whole Bible is saying it. There's no mystery. There should be no mystery to anyone that, I mean, just think about if we ruled out, if we just took the word away and didn't even use what the word's saying and said, would it make sense that if there is an imposter and the real one's been hidden, would it make sense that you should inquire and return now, or wait and maybe do it later on a cloud? Come on now. I mean, we can debate things all day, but my friends, if we're debating that it makes sense to not inquire or to return, to lament for your comely home, if anyone's going to say that it doesn't make sense to do that, you're not. No one that will listen to this, everyone that listens to this will be adults, I would say, and they will have a brain, more than likely. And anyone who says that doesn't make sense, that it makes sense to not inquire, to not lament, to not care about your house, whoever would say that, you're not saying it because you think that that's the truth. If you're saying it, there's more. It's an absolute that there's a reason that isn't being mentioned. And I'm not asking you to mention it. I mean, I don't care why it would be that you wouldn't want to inquire and do all that. I don't care why, what the reason is for. I mean, you could tell me my ear's yours. So is my shoulder and my back, my brain, my mind, my mouth, my feet, my hands, everything. In unification. You can tell me, but I'm not asking you to because I don't care. All I care is that you inquire, you hear and see and do. There's only one side of that coin that involves doing, hearing, seeing, and doing. The other side is stopping your ears from hearing, stopping your eyes from seeing, stopping your feet from walking, your hands from doing. It shouldn't be hard. Like I said, there's things that are holding people back. That's the problem. And once again, don't take this as me being rude or trying to instigate something other than salvation. And I've been saying this. Whoever who is listening to this right now, if Abba willing, and you, I pray that this happens, if someday you do see this truth and you see that it's everything, it'll be all you want to talk about. Because there's nothing else to talk about. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say it. But if you do, when you see that, and that's all you want to talk about, I hope you ain't mad at me because I ain't told you enough. Because that's how I feel too. I'm going to be mad at myself for all the people that don't find this salvation, that it feels like I left something out here on the earth. I should have did more. I know someone's going to say that, and will think that, and they'll say, well, yeah, now I see why this is all you want to talk about. This is everything. Absolutely. Anyone who wants to step up and debate what I've just said, be my guest. But like I said, it's not going to be pretty. The word of truth is going to slice and dice and leave you dead. There's no two ways about it. All knees shall bow, and everyone will be led either to life or to death. And have loved liars, you have destroyed the dwellings of those who brought forth fruit, and have laid low the walls of those who did you no harm. And so your insolence has come up before the Most High, and your pride to the Mighty One. You remember? He said, for Zion's sake, for Jerusalem's sake, I am jealous. The image of jealousy is the image of the beast. If your child, a son or a daughter, mighty son or daughter of the Most High, it should be your delight to dismantle the lies of the image of the beast. I mean, it shouldn't be a burden that it would be asked for you to do that. You shouldn't have to be. You should have been slicing and dicing a long time ago. We all should have. All the things we've read about in Revelation and Hazan all these years, we're finally here now. Now it's time to either put up or die, right? Wait till you see what the Most High has shown me to show you in Revelations. It's groundbreaking and unprecedented once again. And we just read it's not going to stop. He said, I'm going to pour my spirit out on you and it will not stop. Don't worry about it stopping. That was an answer to a prayer, a concern I had here not too long ago. I didn't know, like, if I would wake up. You know how some people in relationships, they're on fire for one another, and then just one person or both people in the relationship wake up feeling different one day. They just, the night before, we could have made passionate love and lit the roof on fire. And then the next morning, one of us just ain't looking at the other one the same way anymore. It just happens. Stuff like that happens, right? There's been days in the past where the Most High gave me a lot of truth, and then the next day, it was like for weeks, I was wondering, like, well, was that all? I mean, is this over with? But that was before I got in the car, stepped on the gas. Now it's every day. It's new each morning. Brand new. I wake up and a whole new white hot fire is lit in my spirit. And my cup, it is poured to running over from the Spirit of truth, the Most High Spirit pouring out His truth upon me. My human nature and epicry prevents me from doing it perfectly. But the truth that has been dished out is what everyone that's read the Bible has been talking about for thousands of years, with no answer for lots of it. And I didn't get it because I'm smart. No, it definitely wasn't because of that. We can all agree on that, right? It was the hunger, the thirst, and I know maybe my name has something to do with it. I don't know. But it's here. Who cares why and who? I don't care. If you got it, give it to me. I don't care who you are and what you do. All I care is that you're unified, that you're here for the same reason, that you're going hard in the song like me. Duncan on the proud ones and the mighty ones. And the Most High has looked upon his times, and behold, they are ended, and his ages are completed. Therefore you will surely disappear, you eagle, and your terrifying wings, and your most evil little wings, and your malicious heads, and your most evil talons, and your whole worthless body, so that the whole earth, freed from your violence, may be refreshed and relieved, and may hope for the judgment and mercy of him who made it. Now I'm not going to go to the vision at Valley Forge, but I want to remind y'all of something. It said in the third peril, okay, what I'm going to say right now, it will let you know, like it's let me know that happened. Either there's only two things that could be what happened with that vision of Valley Forge. It either did happen, and Washington or whoever wrote it saw that happening. That either happened, or it was an enemy, the enemy, whoever, that knows the script, and he wrote it. It wasn't just someone coming up with stuff. It's everything the Most High has been showing us. The clouds, okay, in the third peril, the clouds, they come upon America. If what I'm saying is true, where would all the what piece of land, what country has been hidden the most, is most confused, is farthest from who it actually is, from its origins, who its people are, what its name is? What country would be? It's a long shot. America has been, America and Palestine. I mean, I don't know of any other countries where that's happened. I mean, there's been colonizing all over the world, but this is the place where Valley Forge vision says that it all ends. I've been saying that this is where the land is. So the Bible says this is where it all ends. And the Bible says that there is an imposter, that there is someone who has judged, but not in truth, the earth. It's happened. So if that's the truth, if the truth of our land has been hidden, and it is America, well, that's where it would all have to come down to, wouldn't it? There wouldn't be no need for thick clouds to land over Germany right now, or Siberia, would there? No. It's America, and we know it's not Palestine. You know, you remember that song, From Sea to Shining Sea? Why is it that we hear that in the Bible so much? Why is it that the Most High says, from sea to shining sea? I mean, there's so many descriptions in it that just matches perfectly with the land I'm in. And it completely, 100%, exposes the BS that we've been sold. And it is the cause of that grievous wound that could be healed, but people won't allow it to be, because the people that are just hard, like a iron 4x4 forehead, rejecting the truth. It doesn't matter how much truth you could show them, or how quick you could get it out of your mouth before they take off running and all we see is those Nikes. It don't matter about none of that. They have a reason they don't want to hear it. That's that grievous wound. That's that mark that's on your right arm. Because anyone who really is body, who has a brain, who loves the Most High, who is serious about all this, if they hear something like that come across their mind, their eyes, their ears, there would only be one reason that they would just altogether reject it and not even look at it. There would only be one reason. Because it don't suit their agenda. It doesn't benefit them in any way. It's actually going to cause public humiliation to them now. And they don't want to have to apologize and turn back now. They want to keep her kicked. And so the more they kick down, the more the truth comes out, the more their wound, their grievous wound, festers and grows. And they could heal it at any time. But they refuse. And it's made them mad, and the more they kick it, the madder they get. While the lion was saying these words to the eagle, I looked, and behold, the remaining head disappeared, and the two wings that had gone over it over to it arose and set themselves up to reign, and their reign was brief and full of tumult. And I looked, and behold, they also disappeared, and the whole body of the eagle was burned, and the earth was exceedingly terrified. The earth. Then I awoke in great perplexity of mind and great fear, and I said to my spirit, Behold, you have brought this upon me, because you search out the ways of the Most High. Behold, I am still weary in mind and very weak in my spirit, and not even a little strength is left in me because of the great fear with which I have been terrified this night. Therefore I will now beseech the Most High that he may strengthen me to the end. And I said, O sovereign Yeauhhhh, if I have found favor in your sight, and if I have been accounted righteous before you beyond many others, and if my prayer has indeed come up before thy face, strengthen me and show me thy servant the interpretation and meaning of this terrifying vision, that you may fully comfort my soul. For you has judged me worthy to be shown the end of the times and the last events of the times. He said to me, This is the interpretation of this vision which you have seen. The eagle which you saw coming up from the sea is the fourth kingdom, which appeared in a vision to your brother Daniel. But it was not explained to him as I now explain or have explained it to you. Behold, the days are coming when a kingdom shall arise on earth, and it shall be more terrifying than all the kingdoms that have been before it. What kingdoms could be prior to the end that would be that could no way be as terrifying as the one in the end? Germany and them, they were pretty terrifying, right? I mean, Rome and Greece and Persia and all those kingdoms weren't as terrifying. Or like Vlad the Impaler and stuff like that. I mean, people putting heads and building torture devices and stuff. That wasn't as terrifying. No, the reason the earth, it's addressed to the earth, so much of this, because what's so terrifying to the earth and to people like Esdras here, when he seen that vision, you know why it terrified him so much, where he couldn't even stand it? Because this guy, like all the other guys in the Bible, they were lamenting, mourning the fact that their comely house was in ruins, and that Yeauhhhh, the house of Yeauhhhh, was taken into captivity and off living in Babylon and these places, seeing all this nastiness. Just longing ain't the word that suffice to describe their suffering, their desire to return back and to have that which is continual intact once more forever, with peace, shalom, harmony, love, joy, right ruling, all that. They wanted all that bad. And then they see a vision where there's a puny little imposter that's just as nasty as can be, that has convinced and fooled the whole world into believing that they are that place, when in reality they couldn't be further from the truth of that. They're the complete opposite. As above, so below. And look at the death, the carnage that it's caused and is causing and is going to cause. All the slaughtering we see, the women eat under, slaughtering their children under the clefts of the rocks, all this stuff we've been reading about in Esdras and in the Bible. That's not literal, but the death is still taking place, because there's a lot of people with those open, grievous wounds that they refuse to be healed. And it's only getting deeper and deeper. And everyone has their own unique, customized reason, whatever, that they won't let it be healed. They won't turn from turn to peace. Everyone has their own, like Becky, she ain't leaving because where she lives, that's her hometown. She couldn't imagine going anywhere, but she loves the Most High. So, according to her, even if it did happen after death, they'd have to drag her kicking and screaming. She wants to have her hometown. She wants to have her cake and throw it in the trash and still lick her lips from the sweetness of it. You can only have your cake and eat it. It's, we want to eat it too. I mean, ain't that what you do with cake? You eat it. Not? I guess if you're on a diet, you could avoid it, but you ain't on no diet of that kind of cake. This kind of cake I'm talking about, we've never had it before. You're going to want to have that cake. So we know who the terrifying, what kingdom would it be? It would be that would be the most terrifying. That would startle these guys in such a way. Leave them weak and sobbing in the fetal position on the floor. Now, these guys saw all kinds of things. I'm sure that the Germans from the 40s didn't cause this terror to come upon these guys. No. And I would say neither did tanks and F-16s, none of that stuff. What terrified them was the image of the beast that they saw in Babylon. They marveled greatly. And 12 kings shall reign in it, one after another. But the second that is to reign shall hold sway for a longer time than any other of the 12. This is the interpretation of the 12 wings which you saw. As for the hearing, a voice that spoke coming not from the eagle's heads, but from the midst of his body. This is the interpretation. In the midst of the time of that kingdom, great struggle shall arise, and it shall be in danger of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not fall then, but shall regain its former power. As for your seeing 8 little wings clinging to his wings, this is the interpretation. 8 kings shall arise in it, whose time shall be short and their years swift, and 2 of them shall perish when the middle of its time draws near, and 4 shall be kept for the time when its end approaches, but 2 shall be kept until the end. As for the seeing 3 heads at rest, this is the interpretation. In the last days the Most High will raise up 3 kings, and they shall renew many things in it, and shall rule the earth and its inhabitants more oppressively than all who were before them. Therefore they are called the heads of the eagle. For it is they who shall sum up his wickedness and perform his last actions. As for your seeing that the large head disappeared, one of the kings shall die in his bed, but in agonies. But as for the 2 who remained, the sword shall devour them. For the sword of one shall devour him who was with him, but he also shall fall by the sword in the last days. As for your seeing 2 little wings passing over to the head which was on the right side, this is the interpretation. It is these whom the Most High has kept for the eagle's end. This was the reign which was brief and full of tumult, as you have seen. And as for the lion whom you saw rousing up out of the forest and roaring and speaking to the eagle and reproving him for his unrighteousness, and as for all his words that you have heard, this is the Messiah whom the Most High has kept until the end of days, who will arise from the posterity of David and will come and speak to them. He will denounce them for their ungodliness and for their wickedness, and will cast up before them their contemptuous dealings. For first he will set them living before his judgment seat, and when he has reproved them, then he will destroy them. But he will deliver in mercy the remnant of my people, those who have been saved throughout my borders. And he will make them joyful until the end comes, the day of judgment, of which I spoke to you at the beginning. This is the dream that you saw, and this is its interpretation. And you alone were worthy to learn this secret of the Most High. Therefore, write all these things that you have seen in a book, and put it in a hidden place. And you shall teach them to the wise among your people, whose hearts you know are able to comprehend and keep these secrets. But wait, here 7 days more, so that you may be shown whatever it pleases the Most High to show you. Then he left me. When all the people heard that the 7 days were past, and I had not returned to the city, they all gathered together from the least to the greatest, and came to me and spoke to me, saying, How have we offended you, and what harm have we done you, that you have forsaken us and sit in this place? For of all the prophets you alone are left to us, like a cluster of grapes from the vintage, and like a lamp in a dark place, and like a haven for a ship saved from a storm. Are not the evils which have befallen us sufficient? Therefore, if you forsake us, how much better it would have been for us if we also had been consumed in the burning of Zion. For we are no better than those who died there, and they wept with a loud voice. A lot of weeping going on. Then I answered them and said, Take courage, O Yeauhhhh, and do not be sorrowful, O house of Jacob. For the Most High has you in remembrance, and the Mighty One has not forgotten you in your struggle. As for me, I have neither forsaken you nor withdrawn from you, but I have come to this place to pray on account of the desolation of Zion, and to seek mercy on account of the humiliation of our sanctuary. He was demanding understanding, wasn't he? And they didn't have any. They just they assumed that he was just up and leaving them, forsaking them. But in reality, I mean, that's all he thought about was them. But he was on a mission. He had an order to follow, a directive. But they gave him no chance to explain that, did they? They just showed us their Nikes as they was crying and weeping. And, you know, I'm not beating them up. The whole world does it, and it's been doing it. Most people, when two people are having a conversation, this is how most conversations go. One person's talking, the other person, if he ain't talking, which is rare, if he's just sitting there, he's thinking about what he wants to say. He's not thinking about or listening to that person. It's rare. You know, how rare is it to find someone who actually listens? How often are you misunderstood? And all you want is to be understood. And it could have been so easily achieved. Turn the ear switch on and just shut up for a second inside your mind. Don't think about what you want to say and how you would do it or nothing like that. Just think about what the words that are coming out that person's mouth. Hear what they say and then give a proper, informed response. A conversation should be like a well-oiled machine. Information comes out one side and received on the other and spinning back and forth, round and round. And then things can get done. But right now, the world has just been spinning their wheels. No one has understanding because it doesn't matter. The greedy gain is way past their forehead. It's hard to see the top when you're that deep. I have come to this place to pray on account of the desolation of Zion and to seek mercy on account of the humiliation of our sanctuary. Now go, every one of you, to his house, and after these days I will come to you. So the people went into the city as I told them to do. But I sat in the field 7 days as the angel had commanded me, and I ate only of the flowers of the field, and my food was of plants during those days. I wonder how many of those people that he told that to that left. Do you think there was any people that thought or said that that's not why he's here? He's lying. He's meeting some girl or something here, or he's doing something that he ought not to be doing. And how many went back and never shut up about that and sat and come up with all kinds of wild accusations about him, when in reality he told them the truth. He was there praying, mourning over this humiliation of them in Zion as a whole. Is it crazy of me to say that it's a good probability that there were people that didn't believe him and that talked schmack about him? I guarantee it, because they wouldn't have been able to understand why he would do that. They didn't want to understand why he wasn't there with them, providing for their needs right then and there, like Burger King. The right way, the way that comes from right ruling, would have been that when they were desperate to find him and they went and found him, the right way would have been, why are you here? What's going on? And let him tell why he's there. And then, if you've got no reason to believe he would lie, acknowledge what he said and say, okay, trust him, he's your brother. You go ahead and tell everybody he wouldn't lie, he wouldn't make this up, he wouldn't joke about this kind of stuff. This is what he's doing. Let's give the man the 7 days. He said he'll find us when it's over with. Just imagine what can and will be achieved when the world operates like that. Just imagine. Just imagine the unification. That's how everlasting can be achieved, and it's the only way. There can't be accusations, people operating on assumptions all day that spawns from their greedy gain, selfishness. After 7 days, I dreamed a dream in the night, and behold, a wind arose from the sea and stirred up all its waves. And I looked, and behold, this wind made something like the figure of a man come up out of the heart of the sea. And I looked, and behold, that man flew with the clouds of heaven. And wherever he turned his face to look, everything under his gaze trembled. And whenever his voice issued from his mouth, all who heard his voice melted as wax melts when it feels the fire. Keep that last part of verse 4 in the front of your mind. Put a pin in that. After this I looked, and behold, an innumerable multitude of men were gathered together from the four winds of heaven to make war against the man who came up out of the sea. And I looked, and behold, he carved out for himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. And I tried to see the region or place from which the mountain was carved, but I could not. Now, why would he say that? Just don't pay no attention to that, guys. What that last part, verse 7, don't even worry about that. He's taken up some of the page, that's all. He had some ink, He was getting ready to throw the pen away, and he wanted to get all the last ink that was in it out. Wake up, my friends, my mishpachah. I love you. I love you. That's what this is. Wake up. After this I looked, and behold, all who had gathered together against him to wage war with him were much afraid, yet dared to fight. And behold, when he saw the onrush of the approaching multitude, he neither lifted his hand nor held a spear or any weapon of war. But I saw only how he sent forth from his mouth, as it were, a stream of fire, and from his lips a flaming breath, and from his tongue he shot forth a storm of sparks. He was slicing and a-dicing like Zorro. All these were mingled together, the stream of fire and the flaming breath, and the great storm, and fell on the onrushing multitude which was prepared to fight. and burned them all up, so that suddenly nothing was seen of the innumerable multitude, but only the dust of ashes and the smell of smoke. When I saw it, I was amazed. After this I saw the same man come down from the mountain, and called to him another multitude which was peaceable. Then many people come to him, some of whom were joyful and some sorrowful. Some of them were bound, and some were bringing others as offerings. Then in great fear I awoke, and I besought the Most High and said, From the beginning you have shown your servant these wonders, and has deemed me worthy to have my prayer heard by you. Now show me also the interpretation of this dream. For as I consider it in my mind a loss for those who will be left in those days, and still more a loss for those who are not left. For those who are not left will be sad, because they understand what is reserved for the last days, but they can't attain it. But a loss for those who are left, and for that very reason, for they shall see great dangers and much distress, as these dreams show. Yet it is better to come into these things through incurring peril, than to pass from the world like a cloud, and not to see what shall happen in these last days. Count yourself blessed to be invited. He answered me and said, I will tell you the interpretation of the vision, and I will also explain to you the things which you have mentioned. As for what you said about those who are left, this is the interpretation. He who brings the peril at that time will himself protect those who fall into peril, who have works and have faith in the Almighty. Works and faith. Understand, therefore, that those who are left are more blessed than those who have died. This is the interpretation of the vision. As for you, seeing a man come up from the heart of the sea, this is he who the Most High has been keeping for many ages, who will himself deliver his creation, and he will direct those who are left. And as for you, as you're seeing wind and fire and a storm coming out of his mouth, and as for his not holding a spear or a weapon of war, yet destroying the onrushing multitude which came to conquer him, this is the interpretation. Behold, the days are coming when the Most High will deliver those who are on the earth, and bewilderment of mind shall come over those who dwell on the earth, in their hometown. They don't want to hear that we've been lied to. They want to continue on with the Joneses, with the American dream, whatever. They're dwelling in the earth. That's where their mind is. It's on the things of the earth. And even that they can't understand. But they claim to know all things of heaven. That grievous open wound. And they shall plan to make a war against one another, city against city, place against place, people against people, and kingdom against kingdom. And when these things come to pass, and the signs occur which I showed you before, then my Son will be revealed, whom you saw as a man coming up from the sea. So, when all those things happen at the end, that's when the Messiah will be revealed. What's that mean? What does that mean? Whom you saw as a man coming up from the sea, and when all the nations hear his voice, every man shall leave his own land and the warfare that they have against one another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as you saw, desiring to come and conquer him. The truth. Shut up. They don't like it. They long for it to cease. That's that torture that the two witnesses caused to those who dwell on the earth. That causes those who dwell on the earth to come kill those two witnesses and to give gifts to each other because their dead bodies lay in the street for 3 days. Who I'm almost positive is Isaiah and Jeremiah. Their books, this truth that's sealed up. And don't for a second go to thinking that there's something could be sealed in there, that something couldn't be sealed from you in any book of the Bible. The Most High's thoughts are above ours, and it's not even close. Humility's the only way, my friend. And Zion will come and be made manifest to all people. Okay. Is coming down out of the sky, literally, is that being made manifest? What's more believable? That a city will float down out of the sky, or that the truth of somewhere will be revealed? What's more logical? What weighs more on that scale if you put it on there? What would be common sense? What makes sense? What produces fruit from people? What doesn't? What produces more of that rottenness and what doesn't? We can go round and round about all these common sense issues. I mean, like I said, my ear, everything, I'm here for you. I love you. You got a brother. As long as there's air in my lungs and blood in my veins, I'll do what I can. And I'm not going to talk nothing about you but good. But I can. I'm supposed to. I'm gonna. It's my duty to try and wake everyone up. I'm not picking on no one. I'm not setting anyone out in particular. I'm reacting to the majority situation. The situation that everyone sees is happening. And we can debate, and if you want, but these common sense issues, they can't be argued. We can, but if we're going to be open and honest with each other, let's just bring out the reasons why it is we won't accept common sense. You don't have to. Like I said, I don't want you to. But if you need to, here I am. But if you don't want to, but there is a reason, I pray, I hope, I love y'all. I hope that you get to the bottom of it and get to it soon. It can be healed, my mish. And Zion will come up and be made manifest to all people, prepared and built, as you saw the mountain carved out without hands. And he, my son, will reprove the assembled nations for their ungodliness. This was symbolized by the storm, and will reproach them to their face with their evil thoughts and their torments, with which they are to be tortured, like the two witnesses, which were symbolized by the flames. That's why it says he breathes fire. And will destroy them without effort by the law, slicing and dicing, all knees bowed, wine press, trodden and down. That's what this is, outside the city. That's the Messiah being made manifest, the truth. That is what it meant in the Valley Forge vision. When it was talking about the third peril, it said, note on the word third. This peril is the only peril where there is divine assistance. It's the last and most frightening peril. It's the only one that divine assistance is provided. Is there any divine assistance being provided right now? I mean, there's a stream, fast-moving stream of never before heard, discussed, found truth, revelation all necessary life-saving revelation truth that we've all been hungry for thousands of years, that's coming, rushing out, gushing out of the set-apart place. That's divine assistance. And it makes all the sense. Or would it make sense that he would throw balls of fire down from the sky and take people out like that? When it says judge the earth, does it make sense that the earth sits like on the stand and they're sentenced, the earth's sentenced to like 25 to life? Or is it how we said it was a little bit ago? That's the common sense way. That's what's going to be the most weight on the scale. And will destroy them without effort by the law, which was symbolized by the fire. And as for you seeing him gather to himself another multitude that was peaceable, understanding, these are the 10 tribes which were led away from their own land into captivity in the days of King Hosea, whom Shalmaneser, the king of the Assyrians, led captive. He took them across the river, and they were taken into another land. But they formed this plan for themselves, but that they would leave the multitude of the nations and go to a more distant region where mankind had never lived, that there at least they might keep their statutes which they had not kept in their own land. And they went in by the narrow passages of the Euphrates River. For at that time the Most High performed signs for them and stopped the channels of the river until they had passed over. Through that region there was a long way to go, a journey of 1.5 years, and that country is called Arzareth. Then they dwelt there until the last times, and now when they are about to come again, the Most High will stop the channels of the river again, so that they may be able to pass over. Therefore, you saw the multitude gathered together in the peace. Now remember, we just seen Euphrates, and it said he will stop the channels of the river so that they may be able to pass over. Okay? We know in Jeremiah the book is tossed in the Euphrates River, and that messengers are men. He calls Jeremiah messenger. Malachi, he says, is the messenger of Yeauhhhh, right? So the Messiah, he said, you are mighty ones. You know you can be mighty. Messiah wouldn't tell you that you could tell a mountain to be thou removed if he wasn't telling the truth. He wouldn't bullshit you like that. The problem is the majority can't, they don't believe that. They won't believe it. But they'd rather believe in like Star Wars type fiction. But common sense, logic, it's nowhere to be found. Therefore you saw the multitude gathered together in peace. Gathered, remember that word. But those who are left of your people, who are found within my holy borders, shall be saved. Those who are left of your people, who are found within my holy borders, shall be saved. Only your people, and only the ones in the borders. That's cut and dry. We can debate all we want. Like I said, I'll talk to you. I love you. Anytime, any place. But just know that my intentions is to get to the bottom of whatever we're talking about, the truth. I like merry-go-rounds, but I mean, we all get sick eventually, right? We gotta walk straight, do what's right. That's what we say, that's who we claim to be. That's the name of the game that we all profess. Let's all play. But those who are left of your people, who are found within my holy borders, shall be saved. Therefore, when he destroys the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he will defend the people who remain, and then he will show them very many wonders. I said, O sovereign Yeauhhhh, explain this to me. Why did I see the man coming up from the heart of the sea? And he said to me, just as no one can explore or know what is in the depths of the sea, so no one on earth can see my son or those who are with him, except in the time of his day. No one. This is the interpretation of the dream which you saw, and you alone have been enlightened about this, because you have forsaken your own ways, and have applied yourself to my ways, and have searched out my law, for you have devoted your life to wisdom, and called understanding your mother. Therefore I have shown you this, for there is a reward laid up with the Most High. And after 3 more days I will tell you other things, and explain weighty and wondrous matters to you. Really? I mean, there's a such thing as weighty and wondrous matters that we don't know about? Then I arose and walked in the field, giving great glory and praise to the Most High, because of his wonders which he did from time to time, and because he governs the times and whatever things come to pass in their seasons. And I stayed there 3 days. Now, maybe that's why, another reason he gave me this truth, brought me and led me to where he has. Because it has been my devotion is to find wisdom. And I've been calling understanding my mom for a while. I ain't been perfect at it. I probably haven't even been good at it a lot of times. But I would be lying to say that it hasn't been my mission for since about 2013. It's been my mission. And does that make me better than you? Nope. I'm just saying that's maybe that's why. I don't know. Those are all things above my pay grade. All right. First things first. The first thing I told you to put a pin in was when it said that the Most High, his enemies melt in his presence, or something like that. They melt away like wax. That reminded me of Psalm 68. And I was just saying that, I was saying that maybe it's because I've made understanding my ma. That's why he's gave me this truth about the land. Well, where that truth started was right here in chapter 68 of Psalms. Check it out. The Most High arises, his enemies are scattered, and those who hate him flee before him. As smoke is driven away, you drive them away. As wax melts before the fire, the wrong perish before the Most High. But the righteous are glad. They exult before the Most High, and they rejoice with gladness. Sing to the mighty Most High. Sing praises to his name. Raise up a highway for him who rides through the deserts. By his name, Yah, and exalt before him. Father of the fatherless and right ruler of widows is the mighty Most High in his set-apart dwelling. The Most High makes a home for the lonely. He brings out into prosperity those who are bound with chains. Only the rebellious shall dwell in a dry land. O my mighty Most High, when you went out before your people, when you stepped through the wilderness, Salah, the earth shook and the heavens dropped before the Most High. This Sinai, is that implying that there's another Sinai? Could be, huh? Shook before the Most High, and the Most High of Yasharal. You, O my mighty Most High, sent a shower of plenty. You confirmed your inheritance when it was weary. Confirmed. It's been confirmed. I wouldn't be on here doing what I'm doing if it wasn't an absolute. Like I said, and the evidence-rich case has been presented, and it's only getting richer, and it ain't going to stop until the case ain't needed. Then I'm going to go on and rat-a-tat-tat on other things. All esteem kind of things. Your flock dwelt in it. What did your flock dwell in? You provided from your goodness for the poor, O my Most High. Yeauhhhh gave the word. The women who proclaimed it was a great company. Yes, y'all are. Not in number, but in quality. Y'all are going to be something great. Sovereigns of armies flee in haste, and she who remains at home divides the spoil. She who remains at home divides the spoil. Not Chattanooga, Tennessee. No, you're home. And I'm pretty sure you will agree that only one home will divide the spoil, not multiple. If you lie down among the sheepfolds, the wings of a dove are covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. If you lie down and rest with the sheepfolds, that makes you a dove. You're covered in silver. Your feathers covered in yellow gold. All the wealth, the riches. The Joneses ain't got nothing on this. When the Almighty scattered sovereigns in it, it did snow in Salmon. And all that wealth and riches, ain't got nothing to do with no Benjamins, baby. No, it's all about that unity, that royalty, that mountain-moving faith that you can't buy. A mountain of the Most High is the mountain of Bashan. A mountain of peaks is the mountain of Bashan. Why does he want us to know what the mountain of the Most High is? O mountain of peaks, why do you gaze and envy at the mountain which the Most High desired to dwell in? Yeauhhhh even dwells there forever. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, thousands of thousands. Yeauhhhh came from Sinai into the set-apart place. You have ascended on high. You have led captivity captive. You have received gifts among men, and even the rebellious, that Yah, the Most High, might dwell there. Blessed be Yeauhhhh, day by day. He bears our burden, the Most High of our deliverance. Salah. Our mighty Most High is the mighty Most High of deliverance. And to Yeauhhhh the Master belong escapes from death. Escapes from death. Not first class seat, ticket punched, pixie dust, twinkle toes from death to life. No, you have to actually escape. Indeed, the Most High smites the head of his enemies, the hairy scalp of him who walks about in his guilt. Yeauhhhh said, I bring back from Bashan, I bring back from the depths of the sea, so that you plunge your foot in blood, that the tongues of your dogs have their portion from the enemies. They have seen your goings, O my Most High, the goings of my Most High, my sovereign, into the set-apart place. Who's seen it? The singers, who went in front with the players on instruments after them. Among them were the young great women playing tambourines, singing that song, going hard in the paint all night long and all day, who only want to bless the Most High in the assemblies. Yeauhhhh from the fountain of Yasharal. There is Benjamin, the smallest, their ruler, the leaders of Yehuda, their company, the leader of Zebulun, the leader of Naphtali. Your Most High has commanded your strength. Be strong. Oh, my Most High, this you have worked out for us. Yes, he worked it all out, didn't he? He had all the right moves. All his words were always all necessary. There was no competition. He owns the dance floor. Don't get it twisted. And only he could have worked it out like that. Whipped it into shape like that. Because of Yeauhhhhh at Yerushalayim, sovereigns bring presents to you. What presents? Wrapped Christmas gifts? Is that the presents? Or is it that pilgrimage because of Yeauhhhh? That's a gift. Dying to yourself to come home, do what's right and continual, that is a mighty gift. Especially in the world, in the face of, in the opposition that we are dealing with right now. To be able to come to the land, to your inheritance, in the face of this level of opposition, it is a mighty present. It's all esteem. Rebuke the wild beast of the reeds, the herd of bulls, with the calves of the peoples, each one humbling himself with pieces of silver. Scatter the people who delight in conflicts. Everyone remove the Nikes off of your feet. There'll be no more Nikes. Ambassadors, come out of Mitzrayim. Cush stretches out her hands to the Most High. Sing to the Most High, you reigns of the earth. Praises to Yahuwah Salah, to him who rides on the ancient highest heaven. See, he sends out his voice, a mighty voice. It's mighty. And if whoever won't agree with that, it's just because they don't like it. They know it's mighty. It's got them shaking in their boots. Their knees are knocking. And so is the Messiah, the Word, the truth, the way, and the life. He's knocking on your door. Won't you let him in? Let him come in, and his Father, and dine with you, and you with him. Get that rest, that inheritance, that deliverance, that escape. Or not. It's your call. But I'm not going to quit trying till I can't no more. Ascribe strength to the mighty Most High. His excellence is over Yasharal, and his strength is in the clouds. In the clouds. Like the Messiah when we see him coming in on the clouds. I love the slicing and dicing, my friends. Can't get enough of it. No wonder it's tat-tat-tat like that. Oh, my Most High, awesome from your set-apart places. The El of Yasharal is he who gives strength and power to his people. Blessed be the Most High. Okay, we've been seeing a lot of wrath, of cups being given to people and them being told to drink and that they're gonna drink. And we've been singing our song as hard as we can, and it won't stop. Which are things talked about in Revelation. Hazan. 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 Haz means house. On. Suppressive suffix, if that's how you say that. Suppressive. To be over and above. Of or relating. A grammatical declension used chiefly in Hungarian to indicate location on top of something or on the surface of something. So, Hazan, my friends, Revelations It's just like I've been saying it was. I just didn't know that it is called what we've been talking about, that song of Moshe. I didn't know that until just now. There's more of that proof that, I mean, what kind of person wouldn't come share it with you? What kind of person wouldn't rat-a-tat-tat like that with all this? Not me. And I looked and saw a lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having his father's name written upon their foreheads. Not literally. No more do I say, they're gonna know I love them. No, they're gonna know I loved him. They're gonna know what's on my forehead. And not for them, and not for me, the only way it could be for him. And I heard a voice out of the heaven like the voice of many waters, many truths out of the heaven, like the voice of loud thunder. Throne issue. And I heard the sound of harpists playing their harps. Our home issue. When it's talking about harps, it's talking about home. When it's talking about thunder and lightning, it's talking about the throne. And they sang a renewed song before the throne. So it's a song that was sung at one time, but now it's renewed. Did they change the lyrics? Did they chop and screw it? Is that what happened? Remix it? Or is it that song that everyone will be singing and won't pay attention to the old version of it, the original? We'll all be singing the cover song then, won't we? And before they sang the renewed song before the throne where that thunder and lightning is, and before the four living creatures and the elders, and no one was able to learn that song except the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth. Why couldn't they figure it out? Why couldn't they learn it? Someone else? Are they just that far more musically advanced than the rest of society? Is that what it meant? Wakey, wakey. No eggs and bakey. Maybe eggs, but no bakey, for sure. Shake and wake, my friends. Wake up. They are those who were not defiled with women, not eunuchs who chopped their you-know-whats off, or virgins who never, like Catholic priests who were forbidden to have relations. No. Being with a woman can't defile you, because that would rule all kinds of people out. David, he's done. He ain't coming. All kinds of people. That don't defile you. He wouldn't make us to procreate if it would defile us. No. The women that defile are the daughters of Babylon, the whore of Babylon. Those kind of things. For they are maidens. They are maidens. That means they're not married. Doesn't mean they're sexually, they're virgins. That's not what that means. It means they're maidens, because you can't be married to someone or something and be married and get married to the Most High, to the truth, the way, the word, and the life. You got to be all in. They are those following the Lamb wherever he leads them on. Marrying him, that's all they think about. They were redeemed from among men, being first fruits to the Most High and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no falsehood, for they are blameless before the throne of the Most High, before the throne of the Most High. So does that mean that they were perfect, that they ain't never did nothing wrong as they stand in front of the throne? Or was it that they didn't speak falsehood? What they were saying was blameless about the throne. Yeah, that's what it means. And I saw another messenger flying in mid-heaven, holding the everlasting good news to announce to those dwelling on the earth, even to every nation and tribe and tongue and people. And he wasn't saying, what most people in the world today say is the good news. He said with a loud voice, fear the Most High and give all esteem to him, because the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him who made the heaven and the earth and sea and fountains of water. Why is he got to tell them that? I mean, they don't know that he made all that stuff? And another messenger followed, saying, Babel is fallen, that great city, because she has made all the nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her whoring. Singing those songs of a whore. You don't think that that's what's going on right now, do you? No, you see all these people, all these, just every day, all day long, there's reports of them brutally ending lots of people and making lies up for excuses to do it, but and making those excuses out one side of their mouth, but out the side of their neck they're over there on camera saying, we're going to wipe them all out, it's ours, we're putting our flags on their houses. War crimes, screw your war crimes, we're going to do what we want, what we like, what we've been wanting to do this whole time, what we've told you we want to do and would do. And the only ones who are still pledging their dying allegiance to them, the only people that still pledging their allegiance to them are those who are in a relationship with her, in a promiscuous relationship, in one of adultery and whoring, the harlot fee. They ain't gonna say nothing. They're not gonna bat an eye at them while they're doing what they're doing when they got that much skin in this game, because that skin is chief. That promise of Benjamins and houses and cars and coaching the little league team and all that kind of stuff, it is what takes priority over anything else. And a third messenger followed them, saying with a loud voice, if anyone worships the beast, this whole thing, you should be able to agree with me when I say the Bible has been about Yerusalem, about bringing people to the land of milk and honey, right? From the front to the back, that's what it's about. So who would the beast be? If there's two beasts and one, and they make an image, the people dwelling on the earth make an image to the first beast, and we know beasts are like kingdoms, groups of people, entities, countries, nations. If it's beast, if it's kingdoms, what kingdoms would we be talking about? What one would be the first one, and then that there's a second one? Was there an America before 1492? Was there a Cuba at one time, and now there's a renewed Cuba? No. Has there been an image made of a land, a country, a people ever before in history? Was there someone pretending to be France at one time that I just don't know about? No. It's always been about Jerusalem. That's what this is about. The one who they received the deadly head wound, but the world marveled that they were brought back from the dead. Who could that be? So, worship means to obey. They ain't bowing down to that image, literally. But it probably would be better if you did, because that's what you're doing, and you're claiming that you're not, when everyone who's looking can see that you are. So, just like I tell my children, if you commit a crime, don't commit double the crime by lying and acting like you didn't do it. I know if you did or not. The Most High, He's got His eyes all on you. He knows exactly what you do. And if you think you can hide it, there's your sign. That's who you worship. And that's that tree in the garden of the knowledge of good and evil. So if you worship the beast and his image, and receives his mark upon his forehead or upon his hand, you see how it is that they receive their mark? That's how. This is the separation of the wheat and the chaff. Only the wheat are going to get in a car and stomp on the gas. No chaff will get in the car and kick it. Don't find yourself gnawing and gnashing your teeth one day, gnawing and gnashing your teeth because you realize that, man, all I had to do was get in my car. I even had a to-go bag in the trunk, and there was a full tank of gas. I had plenty of cash. I could have went there plumb easily. It'd have been fun. We could have went to the Grand Canyon, babe. We could have went the scenic route, stopped at all the big truck stops and played the arcades, whatever your imagination can come up with. Don't be standing there realizing that now you must walk away in torment because you didn't do that when you could have easily did it. It was the answer. It was the key of David, the key of Daud. That open door that no one shuts, that's open. It's that door that he's knocking on. And all you got to do is open it and let him in. Don't kick it shut, slide the dresser drawer in front of it and deadbolt it. Open that baby up. Let him come in. What do you got to lose? If it ain't him, you'll know, right? We'll know. How you going to feel when you know that it was him and you didn't open it up for Little League, for the Joneses, for whatever? And he also shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out undiluted into the cup of his wrath. And he shall be tortured with fire and sulfur. Where's sulfur come from? The throne. Before the set apart messengers and before the Lamb. Before the throne. And the smoke of their torture goes up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night. Why? Because they're not in the resting place. Only those in the resting place are going to get rest. Those worshiping the beast and his image, also, if anyone receives the mark of his name, here is the endurance of the set apart ones. Here are those guarding the commands of the mighty Most High and the belief of Yeauhhhh. What did Yeauhhhh do? He came to do the Father's will, to be the Lamb, to tell us the truth, to guide us to the reign, to go and prepare it for us, to be the way, the truth, and the life. Eating all the lamb, putting the blood on your doorposts, getting inside, strapping your sandals on tight, girding up your loins, stick in hand, and bags packed, ready to go. That is the belief of Yeauhhhh. Did he say, take this cup from me? I'm not doing it. Nope. I'm not going to Jerusalem and getting killed. I'm going to the ball game tomorrow. I got a date with Sandy. That's what I'm doing. I just dropped a down payment on this house. I got her a ring. I proposed. My kids, my job, my house, my dogs, my cars, my money, my clothes. What is it for you, my friend? Like I said, we can talk about it, but I don't care. I want you to deal with it. Get to the bottom of it. Solve it. And I heard a voice out of the heavens saying to me, "Right, blessed are the dead who die in the Master from now on. Yes, says the Spirit, in order that they rest from their labors and their works follow with them." All this time up until he's been filling my glass up, I always thought that meant the resurrection, like blessed are those who get beheaded now, from now on in the Master. Is that what that means? It's not. We're told to die in him, right? Yeah. Blessed are those who die in him from now on. So you can get rest by coming home. And I looked and saw a white cloud, and sitting on the cloud was one like the son of Adam, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another messenger came out of the dwelling place, crying with a loud voice to the one sitting on the cloud, "Send your sickle and reap, because the hour has come for you to reap, because the harvest of the earth is ripe." And the one sitting on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another messenger came out of the dwelling place. Why are they all in the dwelling place? Which is in the heaven. And he too held a sharp sickle. And another messenger came out of the slaughter place, having authority over the fire, and he cried with a loud cry to him having the sharp sickle, saying, "Send your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, because her grapes are ripe." And the messenger thrust his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth and threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High. And the winepress was trodden outside the city. Does it say how far outside the city? Does it say how far around? What's the circumference of this? What's the radius of this destruction? No. He's not being vague. He's being precise. Outside the city. The only place that ain't trodden down, it's inside the city. And blood came out of the winepress up to the bridles of the horses for about 1,600 stadia. Why would it be the bridles of horses? Why couldn't it have been something else? We know in one place we just read not too long ago, it says it's up to the thigh of man and the bridle of horses. All those moves that are the right moves, they all make perfect sense when you're looking, when you're watching him on the dance floor, when you got your eyes set on him, your heart is after his. You're after him. And you'll stop at nothing to get to him. And I saw another sign in the heaven, great and marvelous, 7 messengers having the 7 last plagues, for the wrath of the Most High was ended in them. And I saw like a sea of glass mixed with fire, and those overcoming the beast and his image and his mark and the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass. On the sea of glass. The sea is the people. Glass? Well, it's clear. Holding harps of the Most High. And they sing the song of Moshe, the servant of the Most High. What do you think that was? Do you think that was what song was it? Was it Jimmy Crack Corn and I Don't Care? Is that what it was? Or was it blood on the doorpost, suited and booted, bags packed, let's rock and roll, we got somewhere to go, this ain't no joke? That's what that was. And they sang the song of the Lamb. What could that be? The truth, the way, the life, the Lamb, the bread from heaven. And in those songs singing, they're saying, not literally, but more Importantly, they're saying, great and marvelous are your works that you've done for us. Yeauhhhh El Shaddai, the mighty one of the mountaintop. Righteous and true are your ways, O sovereign of the set apart ones. Who shall not fear you? Who would rather teach Little League? Who prefers Chattanooga, Tennessee over our home? Who would be so naive to do so? Who shall not fear you, O Yeauhhhh, and give all esteem to your name? Because you alone are kind, because all nations shall come and worship before you, for your righteousnesses have been made manifest. That's all I can talk about. And after this I looked and saw the dwelling place of the tent of witness in the heaven was opened. Why was it opened? A door was opened? So you could see up in there now and be like, oh, I think I see something, guys. No. Nope. And all this truth, it makes way more sense. It does what the other fantasy could never do. It's what solidifies your faith. It's that carnal love. It's actual, tangible faith building blocks. And out of the dwelling place came the 7 messengers, having the 7 plagues, dressed in clean bright linen, and having their chests girded with golden bands. Is it just because they like white and gold? Is that what it is? And one of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 messengers 7 golden bowls filled with the wrath of the Most High, who lives forever and ever. And the dwelling place was filled with smoke from the esteem of the Most High and from his power, and no one was able to enter the dwelling place until the 7 plagues of the 7 messengers were ended. That door will be shut. The 7 messengers. Could it be the prophets? Yeah, I know it's the prophets, but I don't know which one. One of the 4, or what was? Wait a second. What does it say? And one of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 messengers 7 golden bowls. Yeah, so it's all the prophets, like I said. Yeah, and I heard a loud voice from the dwelling place saying to the 7 messengers, go and pour out the bowls of the wrath of the Most High on the earth. And the first went out and poured out his bowl upon the earth, and an evil and wicked sore came upon the men, those having the mark of the beast, and those worshiping his image. How's that happen? The truth that comes from these messengers. It rightly divides. It either leaves you healed or grievously wounded. Your choice, though. It's your call. And the second messenger poured out his bowl on the sea, and it became blood as of a dead one, and every living creature in the sea died. Whoever stays there and dwells on the earth, if you refuse to come to life, if these dry bones choose to stay dry, they're dead. And the third messenger poured out his bowl on the rivers and fountains of water, and they became blood. The truth. They can't drink it. It's just, they can't. It just kills them. It's that 2-edged, slicing and dicing sword that all knees bow to. And I heard the messenger of the waters saying, you are righteous, O Yeauhhhh, the one who is and who was and who shall be, because you have judged these, because they have shed the blood of set apart ones and prophets, and you have given them blood to drink, for they deserve it. And I heard another out of the slaughter place saying, yes, Yeauhhhh El Shaddai, the mighty one of the mountaintop. True and righteous are your judgments. And the 4th messenger poured out his bowl on the sun, and it was given to him to burn men with fire. And men were burned with great heat, and they blasphemed the name of the Most High, who possesses authority over these plagues. And they did not repent to give him esteem. And the 5th messenger poured out his bowl on the throne of the beast, and his reign became darkened, which made them gnaw their tongues from pain. They just can't shut up saying, They're just burying their foot all the way in their mouth. When they show us the bottom of their Nikes, enough said. I see what you're saying. You ain't got the time to look at the truth, to prove why you're accusing me and saying what you're saying. If you don't want to look at the proof, it's because you ain't got no proof. You're just butthurt because your high and lofty bed, your house of cards, it's being exposed. The nakedness, the shame of your nakedness is being exposed. You don't like it, but you ain't gonna stop. You're too self-righteous to admit that you're wrong. So the deeper you go, hoping that it's all gonna go away someday and go back to normal. Well, don't hold your breath. And they blasphemed the Most High of the heaven for their pains and their sores, and did not repent of their works. Wouldn't you think they'd repent? No. And the sixth messenger poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up, in order to prepare the way of the sovereigns from the east. And I saw coming out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, 3 unclean spirits as frogs. The only thing I can think of about frogs is when Moses was telling Pharaoh to let his people go. Frogs was a plague upon the land of Mitzrayim, and only it's specified. It says only in their borders. It's a border thing. For they are spirits of demons doing signs, which go out to the sovereigns of the entire world to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yeauhhhh the Almighty. I'd say something that'll be involved with that will be, these guys are anti-you-know-whats that are dwelling over there. Look what they're saying on the internet. We got to shut these guys up. Look what they've done. There'll be all kinds of fried fish situations, FF situations going on. All kinds of lies and false accusations. See, I am coming as a thief. Blessed is he who is staying awake and guarding his garments. Garments of righteousness. Righteousness doesn't mean you're better than someone. It means doing what's right. If you got to go west, you're going to Grand Junction, and you got to go west, you got to go west. That's the right way. Don't go east. That's not the right way. Don't be like Dumb and Dumber and go the wrong direction, thinking that righteousness is what makes you holier than thou. It does not. That attitude makes you cry out for Sheol. Lower yourself down into it. Guard your garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame with that grievous wound. And they gathered them together to the place called in Hebrew Har Megiddo, which means mountaintop. And the seventh messenger poured out his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came out of the dwelling place of the heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. And there came to be noises and thunders and lightnings from the throne. And there came to be a great earthquake, such a mighty and great earthquake as had not came to be since men were on the earth. And the great city became divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babel was remembered before the Most High to give her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And great hail from the heaven fell upon men, every hailstone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed the Most High for the plague of the hail, because the plague was exceedingly great. You know another place where it says that great hailstones fell? In Ezekiel, when he seen the wheel within the wheel, the cherubim or whatever, the seraphim. It said that he saw the appearance of a man's hand underneath of it, trying to catch the burning coals of sulfur. Hailstones coming down from the bottom of the wheel within the wheel. And one of the 7 messengers who had the 7 bowls came and spoke with me, saying, Come, and I shall show you the judgment of the great horse sitting on many waters, with whom the sovereigns of the earth committed whoring, and the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her whoring. Sound familiar? And he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast, covered with names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was dressed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup filled with abominations and the filthiness of her whoring. And upon her forehead a name written, a secret, Babel the Great, the mother of the whores and of the abominations of the earth. The set-apart city, Yerusalem, is described with purple and scarlet, adorned with gold, precious stones, pearls. But the real one, it don't have those abominations in her hand. Only the image of the beast has that. All right, verse of the day and I'm out. John 16:33. These words I have spoken to you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you have pressure, but take courage, I have overcome the world. These words I have spoken to you so that you do not stumble. They shall put you out of the congregations. Yeah. But an hour is coming when everyone who kills you shall think he is rendering service to the Most High. Yep. And this they shall do to you because they did not know the Father nor me. Yep. But I have said these words to you so that when the hour comes you remember that I told them to you. And these words I did not say to you at the beginning, for I was with you. But now I go away to him who sent me. And not one of you asked me, where are you going? But because I have said these words to you, grief has filled your heart. But I say the truth to you. It is better for you that I go away, for if I do not go away, the Helper shall not come to you at all, but if I go, I shall send him to you. What did they hear when he was saying that? Blah, 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 blah. Because they weren't trying to understand. They were thinking about what they wanted and wanted to say. And having come, he shall convict the world concerning sin, concerning righteousness and judgment, concerning sin because they do not believe in me, the truth, the word, the way, and the life. Concerning righteousness because I go to my Father and you see me no more. What's right? He sits down at the right hand of the Most High. Where? In the dwelling place, on the throne. That's what's right. Concerning judgment because the ruler of this world is judged. You choose this day. I still have many words to say to you, but you are not able to bear them now. But when he comes, the Spirit of the truth, he shall guide you into all the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. If you don't follow, because some truth is just a little too much for you to hear, you'll get left behind. For he shall not speak from himself, but whatever he hears he shall speak, and he shall announce to you what is to come. He shall esteem me, for he shall take of what is mine and announce it to you. All that the Father has is mine. That is why I said that he takes from what is mine and announces it to you. A little while, and you do not see me. And again in a little while, and you shall see me. Therefore some of his taught ones said to one another, what is this that he says to us? A little while, and you do not see me. And again in a little while, and you shall see me. And because I am going to the Father. So they said, What is this that he says? A little while. Blah, blah, blah. We do not know what he is saying. Yeauhhhhh therefore knew that they were wishing to ask him, and he said to them, Are you asking one another about what I said? A little while and you do not see me, and again in a little while you shall see me? Truly, truly, I say to you that you shall weep and lament. Why would you weep and lament? But the world shall rejoice, and you shall be grieved, but your grief shall become joy. The woman has grief when she is in labor, because her hour has come, but as soon as she has given birth to the child, she no longer remembers the affliction for joy that a man was born into the world. And you, therefore, have grief now, but I shall see you again, and your heart shall rejoice, and no one takes your joy away from you. Everlasting unification. And in that day you shall ask me none at all. Truly, truly, I say to you, whatever you ask the Father in my name, he shall give you in the truth. Until now you have asked nothing in my name. Ask and you shall receive, in order that your joy might be what? Complete. Nothing's complete until we return. These words I have spoken to you in figures of speech, but an hour is coming when I shall no longer speak to you in figures of speech, but I shall declare the Father plainly to you. It's what you've been getting. That water that's up past your eyeballs, that we're backstroking in. In that day you shall ask in my name, and I do not say to you that I shall pray the Father on your behalf. For the Father himself does love you, because you have loved me, and have believed that I came forth from the mighty Most High. I came forth from the Father, and have come into the world. Again, I leave the world and go to the Father. His taught one said to him, See, now you are speaking plainly and not using figure of speech. Now we know that you know all, and have no need that anyone should question you. By this we believe that you came forth from the Most High. Yeauhhhh answered them, Do you now believe? See, an hour is coming, and has now come, that you are scattered, each to his own, and leave me alone. Yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. These words I have spoken to you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you have pressure, but take courage. Close those ranks. He overcame the world. How did he do that? Mission complete. He answered the call. He followed the directives and completed the mission.